Welcome everyone to the Hylton's Highlights podcast. I'm the co-host Twitch. This is my brother and the host.
Dakota Hylton here, and today we have one of my good friends and an entrepreneur. He's a fighter, Eric Mccollum.
Thanks, guys.
I did say it right that time, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought I did, but I was getting my head. So, I guess we'll just start with. I mean, I know you from Caleb.
Yeah.
So, how did you and Caleb meet? And
We used to hang out. I was early teen years. I think we met when I was like 15. Partied a lot together. We had mutual friends. So I moved away for quite a while. When I came back, we got back in touch, and then just rest is history, man. We're just one of my best friends. He's a great guy.
yeah. I first time I seen Caleb was last year. He was fighting in February at Cable Dahmer. That's where you were there too. We had a big group of people, and it was he ended up losing that fight. But it was I said from the time if the guy would have stayed on his feet, Caleb would have won all day
Yeah.
long. And as once he took him to the feet is where it like that's where they he tried to he just kept him on the ground the whole time, and I hate fights like that. But that's a part of the sport.
Yeah.
So then, and for those of who I'm talking about, Caleb Williams, which is the first episode we had. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Um, so then, were you like, you guys were pretty rowdy back then, getting in a lot of fights and stuff?
I was really rowdy. Caleb's always been more reserved. He doesn't like, confrontation outside of the octagon or ring wherever he's fighting. But he's he's known to stand up for himself, and not take any shit. But he likes to stay reserved. Me on the other hand, I was always ready to go, and I didn't care.
Yeah,
So.
see, that's what's crazy. Like, cause you see, and it's like I'm not trying to be disrespectful to him, but you see a guy like that, and like in person, especially because he's a little bit, he's a smaller dude.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I could take him, but no, I wouldn't want to fight with
No.
Caleb. I mean, maybe boxing wise, I might be able to like be decent, but he's gonna be so quick because that's what we're talking about off camera. Was you're saying he's super quick.
Yeah, snappy, in and out. He kind of knows his progressions. Like if he's got you on your feet, you're gonna apply some pressure and then kind of back out, see what you got. But there's not too many people around that got hands like him. He's pretty quick.
Yeah, that's I need to get over to that gym. I've been saying that for a while because I know you know Roman. He trains over there every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a bigger guy, isn't he?
He's actually probably about Caleb's size.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've met him then. We actually, yeah, I do. He's Taekwondo guy.
Yeah, he has that weird style. Yeah. He's I've sparred with him a few times and nothing like crazy, but I hate when guys have that weird style.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna fight you sideways,
yeah.
like he does.
Yeah, because he gets that like Muay Thai like stance and
Yeah.
shit. But I mean, when you're boxing, I love doing that because it's like you can eat that up all day long. But if you're throwing kicks, which I don't like to throw kicks, I told him I would, but I don't like getting kicked.
Mm-hmm.
But well, going into that, so Caleb's the one that got you to go to Warriors Academy, right?
Yeah.
And where's Warriors Academy at?
It's off 24 Highway. It's about 3 miles east of 435 North.
So it's like right over there.
Yeah, it ain't very far. It's pretty much right across the street there.
You guys have they have 10 a.m. classes over there, don't they?
Yeah, I think he does 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock classes in the morning. 10:30 to 12:30, which is 2 classes, and then he does the kids classes with Benny. Those are at 5:30, and then he does the 6:30 or the 6 and the 7 o'clock classes at night. So he's a pretty busy guy.
Yeah. So and that Tyler runs all those.
Yeah, Tyler and Rory Schwass. Benny, he's a fighter, and he agreed to do the kids' classes. He's really good with the kids, so if anybody's got kids that they want in any of this, it's really good for kids. Keeps them humble. I mean,
Yeah. we have like our kids classes with our adult boxing class. See like the kids and stuff, but when they're too young, it's frustrating because like especially when they don't know.
Or
Like
they
it's
want
hard
to play instead of learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not the one. I'm not the one to do it. I mean, I could do I like the 14-year-olds or like even like 12. Once they start really knowing like what they're doing, it's like okay. I mean, we have a kid that he's 15. He like if he wants to go pro, he'll be able to go pro. Uh, I mean, shit, dude. There's actually like two of them that like sometimes they hit you. I've seen stars a couple times from them, and like you have to like actually like kind of start like you gotta like kind of give it to them a little bit, so that way they know like hey, you better watch how hard you throw
Yeah.
on me, buddy.
Didn't you just recently give one like a bloody nose or make them throw up?
Oh yeah, actually I did I did make a kid throw up. Yeah, he's really good though. He's one. He stopped coming around the gym for a little bit, and that was one that like, dude, it pisses me off when I see like kids that like just naturally have it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, I'm here like having to show up all the time, and still like you could just tell like by the time he's 18 he'll be kicking my ass. You
Yeah.
know, but it's cool to see, and I think that's what I really like. And with the whole like coaching and stuff at the gym, like I've got to see like some of these guys just get crazy good. Because when I first started going to my gym, there was a few people that were coming to competitive, but no one was seriously trying to fight. And then so like I like really trained for that whole year, and then now especially because we moved buildings, like dude, we got on a any given Monday, Wednesday night, you got anywhere from 15 to 25 people in there, which it's a huge building, so
Yeah.
that's cool. What's the turnout like over there? You guys get a bunch of guys or?
There's a huge range of people that go in there. Night classes that place is usually full. It's not a very big building, so when you get 20, 25 people in there,
That's
it's
crazy.
hot, man. And then Tyler, of course, we always got somebody getting ready to fight, so they're cutting weight, so that thermostat goes up as high as it'll go.
So that's good. I respect that though when coaches do that.
Yeah.
That's what it takes, and he's pro now, isn't he? Right?
Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been pro. I think kickboxing for a while. I'm not sure when he turned pro. I want to say it's been a couple years. But Tyler's good. I mean, Tyler can do a lot with it, but I think he really enjoys the aspect of coaching and growing a gym and giving back to people. I mean, giving people a skill that's useful in real life.
Yeah.
Because we don't have people that just want to come in there to fight. I mean, these people want to learn how to protect themselves, and it's just all around good thing.
Yeah, and that's what I like about our gym too, is because it's like a fitness boxing gym, and so originally when I started going there, too was my first day in there, I was like, oh, I'd like to fight and say I did it once, just because it's like I was like I don't care if I get knocked out or whatever, I just want to say I did it. And at that time, I was literally 290 pounds, I think, when I walked in there. So, it's been just with me losing weight, and I've seen some other people lose weight, and now like with me running classes there, like I'll push the shit out of people. I could not do push-ups. I mean, it's probably been 8 months now ago that I couldn't do them, but I finally started doing them, and I'd add them in the class because people at first I was always afraid, like I didn't want to piss people off because it's like, but everyone's there to get better.
Yeah.
And then so I think now also with me losing all that weight, I have like a little bit of free weight, because I can be like, they're like, well, if he did it, like we can't really complain. And so now, like, I love it when someone comes up to me and says, like, oh, well, you should do this again. Because I have one that my trainer had us do, is where you get on your knees and you, like, go up into the squat. Dude, the first time I did that, I was, like, literally, in your head, you're like, fuck this, dude. I do not, like, want to do this. And then now it's, like, I'll add it in, in the class. And everyone hates it, but they love it. So that's sick. And so now let's talk about, I guess, your fighting and stuff. You said you've kickboxed and you've done regular boxing, right?
Yeah.
Now, with those are two separate fights, right? It wasn't the one, because I know you said Colorado, and I was thinking they went to Colorado and did the boxing, kickboxing, and MMA thing.
Yeah, that was an elimination tournament So my first fight was against people that have fought at least 7 times in their career so far. I mean, there wasn't anybody with less than a 7-fight record. So, and a lot of them been training for years. So I go there expecting just to get my ass handed to me, but I stayed on my feet. I had fun. The dude was pretty pissed off that he couldn't knock me down. He was frustrated. I mean, I didn't move on any of his shots. I took everything he threw.
Are there videos of that on YouTube?
There is. Sparta Sports and Entertainment has it up on YouTube.
So that was the elimination one that I was talking about.
Yeah.
So then, wasn't there? I thought there was MMA. Did you have to win to do the MMA?
You had to win consecutively to get the MMA. Second one was kickboxing, and then third one would have been the MMA.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's definitely check that league out. I've watched a little bit of their stuff. Yeah, that's super cool. And when was that?
January 23rd was when.
So was this year?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Actually, you might raise it up a little bit. Sorry, we give the guests all the crappy equipment, so I don't have to deal with it. Yeah, that's well, that's awesome. So you want to fight again, though? You said.
I do. My body can't really take much more, but I think I got one more in me, and I would have liked to done one of each, and I'll regret it if I don't. So my last opponent from Moberly, which beat me in a decision, agreed to fight me in MMA in January. So.
And you're going to 147 again?
140. It would probably be 147, 145.
Fuck that.
And I used to walk at like 195. Now I try to stay at 170 or a little under.
So you're at 170 right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could see that then. I mean, I'm not saying you're like fat by any means, but I could see like you could probably come down a little bit. Fuck that. Did you say you're eating what, 1,500 calories?
I was. I went back to eating whatever I want, but my job's active. I haven't been in the gym lately because of my shoulder, but hopefully it kind of heals up on me, or I might have to do something about it. But I do want to fight one more time, at least.
See, that would be sick. See, and I've been trying to get him to do it, and he came to the boxing gym with me for a little bit.
For like a month, and then, I mean, I want to go back, but
That's a lot of work, man.
yeah. And then on top of regular work, and then I'd still like to go to the gym as well.
And you guys do this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's like the hard part too. That's especially with someone like that's newer. Which if he would have stuck with it and stayed with it back then, you know what I'm saying, now he would be one of the top ones in the gym. But you come in and, you know, there's guys that like, some guys don't know how to control their power and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And all it takes is you getting clocked one time, and you're like, I don't want to do this. I still, every once in a while, get hit, and I'm like, I don't know why this is what I choose to do.
That's my favorite part, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be humbled. I mean, that's a good thing for somebody like me, because I always grew up so aggressive and violent. I didn't give a shit about nothing, nobody. And then I did a lot of work on myself. I've tore myself down and rebuilt myself 4 or 5 times. So to get that humble part out of it, where, dude, you're not the baddest around, that's my favorite part.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that is motivating too,
Yeah.
because then like you always you like you're strong or something, but then it's like, well, you still can work harder.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. You can always be better. It's just like anything else in life, except you get to hit people.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the fun part too. Like that's why I like sparring too, is just because it's something about like just being able to hit somebody and like there's no repercussions.
Nobody's gonna be mad.
Yeah, no. And if they do, I mean, if they get mad, then they shouldn't be in the gym anyways. I mean, I almost should. I've said this all the time this last week, but I almost got knocked out like probably 2 months ago now, and it was like during sparring, and you could just see. I have the video of it. You can literally just see like like that deer in the headlights look, because he hit me with an 8, and it's one of my one of my friends, and he's 195, which is what I've been fighting at, but this guy's natural 195. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be 195. I should
No.
probably be like a 175, but and I also say this too. I got all this excess skin from being like fat and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been fighting up, which I'm finally going down to 185. So now I'm hoping that that goes better for me. I mean, because fighting, I mean, the first dude I fought, dude, I mean, he's like his height, but looks like a Greek god. Like, no fat on him.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, there's not a person that was at that fight that thought I was going to win. I mean, maybe people that knew I trained, but even the people that knew I trained, they're like, I don't know. And luckily he wasn't that technical or good, and I didn't even really catch him too many times, but have you thought about trying to do the Golden Gloves?
I have not, because I'm not much on head movement, so I take a lot of punishment when I fight. They've tried to instill in me, keep your hands up, move your head when you shoot your shot. I mean, you're going to have to move your head, or you keep it stationary, they're going to know right where it's going to be. They're going to blast you, so...
See, but the bright side, though, if you do the Golden Gloves, they have the novice,
Yeah.
and they have the experience. So if you're under 10 fights, you can do the novice. And realistically, those guys, like, I guess no disrespect to them, but those guys normally aren't that good. I think that the 195 group that we had this year, like, they were good. I mean, decent. I still think I should have won my fight. But that guy ended up my friend ended up knocking him out and breaking his nose. So maybe I got lucky. That's all I'll say. And that was the same weekend that we might have talked about this on the Caleb thing. I ran into Caleb at the UFC because I suppose that weekend was the Golden Gloves, and I lost that Thursday. And so I was just kind of like depressed. I was like, I'm not gonna go watch it. But now fast forward though, that guy that I fought has told me, like, at first I didn't know how I was going to be afterwards, which I'm always cool with everybody. But he ended up, like, literally telling me, like he was trying to tell me, like, how good I am. He says his coach was saying that I move better than some of the pros he's coached. So I think that gave me a lot of confidence, because I also am someone that I never thought I hit that hard. And he was telling me that he thinks if I would have just followed up, like, I had a huge 8 that you can hear it in the video, and this was being filmed from the top, so that was a hard hit when it's like a whack.
Yeah.
And I think now I have that confidence now, like, hey, you have the power. And you've been in some street fights though, so you've knocked some people out.
I've done lots of things. Yeah. I've had some knockdown dragouts. I've been almost stomped to death. I mean, I'd fight anybody, no matter the amount of people. So, yeah, I've got some good whoopings for sure.
That's where it gets sketchy. I've been lucky. I have not been in any street fights. I smacked a kid once because he owed me $20. I probably should have done something with other people, but I don't really care that much now. I think it sucks now that I fight though, because he always gets fucking pissed off at me because. Like, someone will do something, like, oh, fucking kick their ass.
Yeah.
But it's like in my head, like, I know it's not logical. I'm not really going to do that. I just say that. I just want to knock someone out once.
Yeah. Do it in that ring. You can do it out here, buddy. This sends you to prison. I walk away from more than I ever did these days. I mean, you don't know if they're going to shoot you, stab you. I mean, call the cops on you. There's all kinds of bad things. Nobody cares anymore, man.
No, it's
or
not.
injure your hands because they're not properly wrapped.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, that's the thing, too, because, like, my fucking hand's fucked. Like, this, because I'm a dumbass and I punch. That's why, like, I had to work on myself and stuff, because I get pissed off and you just punch shit. And fucking punched it was a pantry. It was a pantry, and I was like, it was wood. I was like, this thing,
hard as shit.
It was so thick, and I regretted it. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, man, you should think about the Golden Gloves. I think you'd have fun with it, and you wear the headgear. So, because you don't wear headgear with kickboxing, right?
They made us on my last fight. I'm not sure if it was a promotion rule or a Missouri rule,
So,
but I had to wear a headgear and shin guards, and that's the only thing that saved my opponent. I actually knocked him down with leg kicks twice, I think, with shin guards on, and then I got a head kick on him when he was running away from me. But he was out. I had nothing left. I couldn't hardly raise my arms. But
you said that's where you fucked up your shoulder, right?
yeah, this one came out further than this one. This one, the next morning, I sat up in bed. My girl was in bed with me in the hotel, and I sat up and put a whole bunch of pressure on this elbow. And when I did, it popped back in. But this one still hasn't gone in. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of tears in it, but that's partly from my job as well. So
And that fight was only like what, 2 months ago?
May 6th, Cinco de Mayo.
May 6th. Okay, yeah, I was actually supposed to go to that because there's someone I knew. They had a girl that was fighting on it or something, but I don't know if that ever happened. So
Yeah, that's a really good promotion. And if you're a pro, he's, I think, the top paying promoter for pros in the state of Missouri.
So, do you know a whole lot about the behind the scenes stuff of that?
I know a little bit. It's something I'd like to get into later down the line, but
What's like the base pay going right now, just for like, I mean, just roughly like what's the base pay for an amateur or not an amateur, a pro fighter?
I have no idea. I know Ricky with Knuckled Up likes to pay around 1,500 to 2,000, which is a lot more
Per fighter?
per fighter.
I was thinking like $500.
Yeah, I think that's probably the going rate with people around here. But
Yeah,
I
see
mean,
that's where I try to tell. That's where I like right now, like with the podcast and stuff. I'm trying to get like a little bit of a following, so that way if it ever does happen, we're selling 100, 200 tickets, and then they have to pay us money to fight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that's also where I'm gonna be smart, and just promote my own shit, because I just bought that boxing ring, and we got that octagon. But if anyone wants an octagon, we got one for sale. I just gotta put it together, and get some pictures. But yeah, I don't know. The business side I think fascinates me more than the fighting side of it. But I also I think the fighting side is more of like proving it to myself, and especially now that I'm so far into it, it's like I've always wanted to say I could be a pro athlete, because I think that we had a rough stuff happen in our childhood, and I think that I could have probably at least went to college in a sport, and I didn't get to do that. So I think this was my me trying to actually try to make up for that and stuff.
I mean, it's never too late, man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. I know I can't go play pro baseball now. I definitely throw my arm out. I've thought about I think it'd be cool to go try out for a baseball team, or even try to do a walk-on tryout for a
Do
football
like a double
team.
A team or something like that, or triple A, whatever they are.
Yeah, just to say I did it too. I don't even care if I make the team. I'll probably cry like I did in high school when I didn't make the baseball team. I actually ran into that. The coach that had to tell me I wasn't on the team, and I was like, oh, thank you. Actually, thank you for that, because that's a part of the motivation whenever I started working out. It's because it's I don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah.
It was a terrible feeling, and I definitely hated that. Did you play any sports in high school?
I did. I played baseball from the time I played t-ball up to, I think I was 11 or 12. I played baseball. Played basketball for a few years. Played football. I've played soccer. I wrestled. I was about all of it, man.
Did you wrestle in high school?
No, I did not. I quit right before. High school is where I quit everything.
Yeah.
I found alcohol and drugs and all that, and it kind of just pushed all that to a back burner.
Yeah, I was smoking a lot of weed. That's what was probably one of my downfall. Well, no, my downfall was I wanted to be a rapper.
Oh, shit.
So that's where everything kind of went south for me, and I stopped going to school. And That was also after I did make the baseball team. I was like, my freshman year I played football, but we had went through a bunch of stuff and I gained a bunch of weight. So I went from probably like 225 to like 270. I wasn't even stepping on the scale because I didn't want to know. And I did lift some my freshman year, and that was in Arkansas, in Genoa, Arkansas though, and they were like, they weren't a good team, and I still wasn't. I wasn't even playing all the time on JV. They would put me in on offense, I guess, but I didn't want to be a lineman. I wanted to be I didn't want to be an offensive lineman. I wanted to be a defensive lineman, because I wanted to tackle someone, but I wasn't like aggressive.
Yeah.
So like, they're like not going to give you that shot. But that was also the thing. I think if they would have gave me the shot, because they'd only put me in for 2 or 3 plays, and and I just couldn't. Also, when you're 275 pounds, it's kind of hard to get off the line.
Yeah, you gotta have that. You gotta have a whole nother mentality to play a sport like that. And I'm sure you've gained that now that you're boxing and stuff like that. Like you don't have to want to hurt somebody, but you gotta want to be the best. You want to stand out.
Oh yeah, and I know it's taken a while to acquire that because at first it's just try to survive. And I mean I could show you videos too. Like my first several months sparring, it was bad. It was like you're like swatting at the punches and stuff. And now like I feel pretty confident. Like I feel like I could almost spar with anybody. I mean obviously if they're like pro boxers, they're probably gonna like kick my ass, you
Yeah.
know. But I feel like even then, like I feel like I could at least stand there and at least take some of the punishment from them. Where like before, it's like you get hit once, and I had been like, okay, give me a second. But I think that was also like the one thing I always prided myself in, even when I started here, was like sparring with my coach. Like I'd get hit pretty hard, and like I would kind of like I would push through it because I told myself I was like, we're gonna give this a real shot. I'm not gonna sit here and just bitch out, and so I think that's what ultimately helped. And then plus once I started seeing like the weight come off, it makes you want to be in there more.
Yeah.
And then plus once you like start landing punches on people that like were kicking your ass, you're like, oh, like they're not letting me do this. Because like I remember the first guy, like that really clocked me. Him and his brother would come to the gym, and I used to not want to spar him, But I'm also like very conceited, so I did not want to like let people know that. But I wouldn't go out of my way to not spar him, but I also wouldn't like go out of my way to spar him. So it's like it was one of those things when he came up to you like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm about to like get a headache. But then like eventually they kind of stopped showing up, and then one day they showed up, and I remember it specifically because we were like training outside in front of the gym, and like I think I was like would fake a 1 and come right around with a 3, and I was just landing them at like free will, and I was like, okay, like things are like picking up.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's what it's about, just getting better. But I guess moving on to that though too, I know one of the main reasons you're here. So you have a shirt company that you're starting up.
It'll be all kinds of clothing. So it'll be joggers. I mean, neck gaiters, shirts, hoodies. I'm gonna be putting a logo on slides. I got some slides coming. I just ordered them this morning. Yeah, it's all being put together. I've been working on it for like 4 months, juggling ideas, trying to find suppliers, people that can do embroidery, printing. So it's been like a huge process. I waited on my logo to be done for a long time because Caleb's a procrastinator.
I know that.
But yeah, it's all coming together, man. It should be within probably the end of the month. I should have everything getting ready to launch. So
That's badass.
Yeah.
Because you said you're gonna have a full blown nice website. I think that's one of the biggest parts too, because that makes you look levels above other people.
yeah, I mean, and then these sponsors that sponsor us, that took a chance and they're like, hey, here's some money, promote me on your walkout gear. I mean, we're gonna have links to them, their little backstories. Anybody I sponsor as a fighter will be on there with a biography about them, kind of tell you a little bit about them and what they think about the sport, why they do it, and links to their sponsors. We're trying to make it for everybody, so everybody can be looked at on there. It won't be just about Kill Me Fight Co. It'll be about everybody that helped build it.
See, that's badass.
Yeah.
So, as far as right now, if you're willing to talk about who all do you got on there, because you got Caleb,
I got Caleb. I'm going to talk to Kellen Lees and Benny about sponsoring them. I don't know how often Tyler's going to fight, but I'd love to sponsor Tyler, of course, Tyler Rowe. And we got some new up-and-comers in there. I mean, nobody in there is a slouch, so everybody comes in there and trains hard, takes it serious, except for me. I'm kind of a joker, so. I mean, it's serious to a certain point for me, but I like to have fun.
Well, that's like a part of it too. Is like if you're not, your goal is not to go pro. I don't assume. So like, you don't need to put as much pressure on it.
No, it's a dream for me to get in there and just battle somebody, just me and them, and it's a whole different feeling. Caleb told me before I ever fought, he's like, it's different when you're not drunk, and you're not intoxicated of any kind, and you can feel the tunnel around you too. So
That's a weird feeling.
it is.
Like, I remember, like, my first time, dude, it was... Well, first off, the guy was a massive, massive dude, and then we're standing right there in Authentic Boxing. They had this hallway, and there's, like, some people there, and he literally, like... I don't even think he punched it that hard, but he punched the wall and, like, punched a hole in the wall, like, right before we walked out. So, I literally just watched him punch a hole in the wall, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And he's, like, huge, so that was... nerve-wracking. And then you get in there, and within 20 seconds, I was tired.
Yeah.
It feels like you can't throw anything.
It usually takes me, I usually get through the first round okay, and then second round I'm all right until about halfway through, because I'm all pressure, man. I'm not going to sit there and wait for you. I'm going to make you do something.
Yeah.
So, and that's from years of fighting out here. You know, put a little pressure on somebody, make a mistake, and it's night time.
Yeah.
So.
See, I think that's like what I got to start picking up on, like especially like Tyson, where he does that moving shit and he gets in on you. Like, I got to start working on that, because I'm one that'll kind of stand straight up with you.
Yeah.
And, I'll throw with people that I don't need to really throw with. I'm probably faster than. I mean, that's my cardio is. And I'm not trying to be too cocky, but it's like levels above like most of the people that I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
I mean, unless if they're really like training all the time, like I in the amateur level, at least. Once you start, going, once you're over 10 fights, it might be a little bit different, because those guys are normally like, they know what they're probably gonna go pro or whatever. So, but yeah, it was a different feeling for sure. And so, I guess everyone here too. Is this one of the shirts for your company?
Yeah, it is. That's just a copy of my walkout. I walked out in a white sleeveless, just like this. But yeah, that's pretty much the first shirt that will be on the website. There's gonna be we've got mock-ups for many more, but yeah, that one, I really like that one a lot.
Yeah, I like the sweaters. A lot of people don't do sweaters.
Yeah, no,
I do
everybody's
like sweaters.
for a hoodie anymore or anything, something like that,
Yeah. Yeah, I like that design and stuff. And you said that's going to be on the website, but I know you can go to his Facebook, and if you follow me, you can find him on my friends, and you have those for sale currently, correct?
I do. That right there was 35, and I'm trying to get a whole nother concept for Kill Me Fight Co. is fight wear is expensive, rash guards are expensive. I mean, you're paying $40 to $50 for a rash guard, just the shirt. I want to get the machines to do this, to print and embroider and all that, so I can offer them to people that love this sport for a lesser price. I mean, because this shit is expensive. I'm making like $5 off those.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't making nothing. It's more of a feeling for me. People want to represent you and are interested in something that's so much a part of you.
And so are you doing a limited run on those?
That will always be available.
Those will always be available.
And I can get any color of anything you want.
So now down the road, is it going to be more kind of like that, or do you think you will reach off into even doing like the 25 or 50 runs of stuff? Like, cause I know that's like a big thing nowadays, like that really like Supreme and stuff, all them they made it big.
Yeah.
So have you thought about like doing limited release stuff or just?
Um, it would probably be, if it's limited release, it'd probably be a walkout, some walkout gears. So like,
That'd be sick.
I want to feature stuff for Caleb on there. Just anybody that sponsored, really. I mean, a lot of them guys aren't into the business aspect of it. They just I want to train and fight.
Yeah.
But to really promote yourself as an athlete, you need a brand, you need a logo. I mean, you gotta have sponsors. I mean, you ain't gotta have all that stuff, but people keep an eye on that. You know, especially if you want to take it to the next level. You want to be a pro, you're gonna need sponsors, all that.
Yeah, and I've been kind of trying to work on that. I feel like I need to put like some type of like little package together, and that's where we need some sponsors on this, and that's kind of the goal. But we also don't have. It's hard to get someone to believe in something if they don't see the numbers or don't see, so I think once things like kind of start picking up, I think it'll kind of eventually speak for itself, especially even with the fighting stuff. Like our first fight, we sold like 60 tickets. It was crazy. I sold like 60 shirts to that too. So I think that like I said, that this stuff will pick up, and that's a big deal. I watched for that. I watched like Caleb's. I saw he had a bunch of people, and I'm like, I wish I had some people like that.
Yeah, man. He's just one of them. I'm like, why don't you have any more sponsors? He's like, man, I just hate to just ask. I'm like, it don't make you look less of anything if you ask somebody if they want to be involved. I mean, if no big deal. But you never know if you don't ask, man.
Yeah, and I think I'm not ashamed to ask anyone for anything, but I mean, it's also becomes a thing where it's like, I do want to have like, if I'm not able to provide any benefit to you, then I don't want to like do that. Which with Caleb, and I've said that before, like, cause I think the first time he walked out, I mean, everyone was like screaming and stuff. So like, you knew he had like this good following, and a lot of guys don't really have that. I mean, because when there's 20 fights on a card or 10 fights, and I feel like FAC does good.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look as big because it's in such a big arena, but I mean, some of these like these boxing cards, dude. There was 20 fights, and I think there's only 250 chairs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, they should be selling out like. Memorial Hall should be sold out if you have 20 fights on a card.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's 3,000 people, but I think a part of that comes to like also the promoting side of things. Like, a lot of people just post flyers these days.
Yeah.
And then like that's it. They don't like really like the whole like hustling side of it's not like it used to be. And that's where I'm a big fan of like even for instance the Butterbean stuff. I got physical tickets because for one, sometimes people will buy shit on the spot, not be able to go. You got their money.
Yeah.
Which I know, like, you could say it's like a bad thing. I don't like to necessarily just take people's money, but it's like, at the same time, a lot of people also just like to support, and necessarily even if they don't want to go.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it, and that's one thing I want to. Whenever I do promote fights, it's like I want to make it more about like an experience and not just like. I love fighting, but I don't like to sit there for 20 fights for 6 hours.
And a lot of these promotions, I think FAC, I think the girls throw shirts, but that's what a lot of these promotions are missing. I mean, you can put a number on some tickets or whatever, do raffles. You got to get the crowd involved. I mean, the more they think they're involved, the more they want to come.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and people like you said, like to feel involved. Like that's why like Tech 9 got as big as he did, or maybe it was Hobson that said, because people want to feel like they're helping you also grow.
Yeah.
Like once you like get to that point where it's like everything's like so large and it's like they feel like they can't touch you, like it's not as genuine feeling. I feel like that's where a lot of people, you gotta have like that good mix. You gotta look like super professional, but also like be there for the people that are actually supporting what you're doing.
Yeah,
So, but I think the FAC does a damn good job of that.
they do.
And
Synergy, that does the fights at Memorial Hall.
yeah,
They do a really good job of. I mean, Chris Gregory, the matchmaker, he's real personable. He'll talk to anybody. I mean, Midwest has some really good promotions. I was supposed to fight in Tampa, Florida, March, and I went all the way down there, cut all my weight, get there, weighed in. Dude collapsed at CVS. I just drove 1,500 miles to not fight because his water. He dehydrated himself too much and collapsed.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the scary part about like the whole fight thing, and I know a lot of people do cut weight like that. I think that's what I like about like the amateur boxing is you can't do that as much.
Yeah.
Because don't you guys weigh in the day before normally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, we have to weigh in.
Day of.
Yeah, day of, like 3 hours before you're fighting. So like I can like cut a little bit and then I'll drink like coconut water and some like Pedialyte, but I don't like to do that. I also feel like it becomes a hindrance, but I also don't know like the whole science behind all that. I just feel like I'd rather be close to like what I'm fighting at, like what I'm walking around at, just because that's what I'm naturally going to train at, and so I feel like I'm better with that. But I don't know. I also don't drink a whole lot of water, so I'm probably dehydrated all the time.
Yeah, I drink a whole lot of water. That jug right there I go through that like twice a day. So
See, I need to actually start doing that. I say I'm gonna do stuff like that. I'll do it, and like I made a big picture of this strawberry lemon water, and it's still sitting in my fridge after a week. I think I had one glass. It did not turn out the way I thought it would. But
that's like cutting weight's kind of a mental and spiritual journey. It's not so much physical, but that's why I really wanted to get into this, to push myself and to see what I was made of. And cutting all that weight, I didn't even water cut it. I could probably make 135, but 147, that was tough, dude. It was real tough.
yeah, dude, I'm not about that life. I mean, I know eventually, like I guess if I did it, like I do go pro, like I might have to be a little bit more strict on that. But boxing is also it's way
It's not a
weirder
weight
than-
advantage or a size advantage, if you ask me. It's more of a how nimble and quick are you, and
Yeah.
how hard can you hit.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is, I don't know if I don't know, some of these guys just the power these guys have though, it's like natural. I don't feel like I have like that natural power. Like there's one dude that he's about to have his first fight at our gym, and dude, he hits like a shit brick house. And like he doesn't even like I don't even think like sometimes he's hitting you as hard as he can. Like in your head you're like, this dude is hitting me as hard as he can. But then like you'll see him hit on the bag and it's like, I don't know if I actually want to fight this dude. He's 10 pounds lighter, so he's fighting at 175, so technically 20 pounds lighter than me, and it's like, I don't know if I want to fight him. I really don't. Like definitely not in a street fight. I wouldn't fight him in a street fight for sure. But I'm also a pussy when it comes to that. So
That's the whole beauty of a street fight. You don't necessarily have to punch somebody in the face. You can kick them in the nuts if you want.
yeah,
I mean, there's no rules.
I feel like that would. Have you seen those leagues that have those no rules?
Mm-hmm.
Those.
What was that? KOS, King of the Street. And they're in that, it's like a dog kennel, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that it'd be like I'm pretty sure they'd be hitting each other like into the ground too.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy.
headbutts.
You seen the ice one too?
I have not.
They have one where it's like they're on a hockey rink and they fight. Then like the car or the phone booth, the phone booth
Yeah,
ones,
and the cars and
the
shit.
cars jiu-jitsu. I mean, those are cool. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I guess it wouldn't be that fun to watch in person, but like, I mean, the ice ones and stuff would. But I don't know if I'd want to see that, to be honest. Like, some of that shit's like kind of gruesome. But I mean, if you're into that, I guess.
I'm definitely into that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to the bare knuckle fights. Did you ever go watch those when they're in town?
I did not. I like that shit. It's legit. I mean,
Have you thought about doing that?
man, them guys would fucking murder me. When it comes to fighting on the street, my whole thing was I'm tough. I can take a shot. shot after shot after shot. My upper hand was always, I'm going to do something that you're not expecting. I'll put my finger in your eyes. I'm not going to lose if I can keep from it.
Yeah.
But in there, you can get in a ring or something. You got rules. And them guys are technical.
Yeah.
They're badass. And I don't think I could go pro with my record anyway.
Yeah. I will.
It'd be a bad idea. 'Cause you got to be a pro to bare knuckle.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, there's no amateur bare knuckle fights.
Okay. Well. See, that's the thing, though. I don't think your record matters, and maybe it does for bare knuckle. I guess I don't know everything, but I'm pretty sure it's just all about money.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you just got to pay to become pro, from what I've gathered at least. But I don't know. I've wanted to go and watch it the last time they were here. Yeah, the Hillbilly Hammer.
I don't.
He's from like the Lake of the Ozarks, so but he's big in that league. I don't know about now, but a couple years ago he was, and actually if you go on YouTube, I think it was his first pro boxing fight. He fought Tommy Morrison's son.
Really?
Yeah, Tommy Morrison's son. I think he's still boxing. I think he's supposed to fight here not too long ago. So were you a Tommy Morrison fan?
Not for real. I'm a Tyson fan, if anything, when it comes to boxing.
Yeah, I'm a Tyson Fury fan. He's my favorite, but I've gotten into the Tommy Morrison just because Turner Boxing. Actually, I don't know if you heard of Turner Boxing. They're in like an old school. It's like a cool setup. But the main guy there, his name's John Brooks. He was actually Tommy Morrison's trainer when Tommy Morrison came here. So if you look up like Tommy Morrison at Memorial Hall, they'll show you like trainer John Brooks, and like you'll see him when he's younger.
Dope.
And so that was the crazy thing. We had the last fight when my friend was fighting there. He came up to me after the fight and was like, "Oh, you guys want to run it back in a couple months?" And I'm like, "I'm not the coach. I have nothing to do with that." But like at the time, I didn't even know who he was. But then after the fact, I'm like, "Oh, that's like so sick." And I didn't realize like how big boxing really was here. And I'm someone that like when I get into something, like I go overboard, and I obsess over it. So like now I'm like, I love Tommy Morrison just because like dude they were selling out Kemper Arena.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. When you tell me the last boxing match that sold out in Kansas City, besides these amateur ones that hold 250 people.
Yeah.
When was the last MMA fight that sold out around here?
Yeah, I don't know of any.
Exactly, and that's again where I think some of these guys, which a lot like you said though, like a lot of these guys they just want to fight, But that's where you have to like try to promote yourself.
Yeah, if you wanted to make a career out of it, you better get business savvy. Because if you can do it on your own, your business on your own, I mean, you're gonna save yourself a lot of money. When you got to pay an agent to do that.
Oh yeah.
You're getting into some money there because them guys don't do nothing for cheap.
No, and I think the bright side though to an agent, if with the right agent, you're gonna be able to get into those bigger promotions probably. Yeah. But also, if you're good enough, those guys are gonna come to you.
Yeah.
I mean, so. But I don't know. I'm just kind of living with, seeing how things go. I mean, because I want to go pro, but I could get knocked out a month from now, and I might be like, no, this ain't what I want to do. But I think I'll stick with it though for a long time. I truly love it. But so you said you had some slides that you ordered.
Yeah, I did.
When are those coming in? When are you gonna drop? What those look like?
Those should be here in like 3 or 4 days. I'm hoping.
How much are you gonna sell those for?
I don't know. It's just kind of like a material thing. I want to check out the material on it because I have to pay I paid $40 for them. So it's be something that I want to buy the slides in bulk and print them myself, so I can offer them to people. I mean, it won't have to be Kill Me Fight Co. I mean, we'll be able to put your fight name on them, whatever. I mean, they'll be walkout slides.
Yeah, see, that's nice. You're staying in the U.S. when you're ordering a lot of your stuff too, or are you going overseas? Cause
I ordered a little bit. I've ordered some shirts from overseas because they're supposed to be great quality and they're cheap, but we'll see. I ordered 4 shirts to check out the quality and the color on them. I ordered some joggers from overseas to check out the quality and color. So once I find quality and color I like, we're going to go ahead and go with it. But, I mean, a lot of stuff you buy from the U.S. is so expensive and just starting out. You know, I got plenty of bills.
Yeah.
So all my extra money goes into this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know how that stuff is, and I think the gloves at our gym, they were made in like Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy thing is it actually costs less for the gloves. It's the shipping that they cost you.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was a crazy dumb number, but I mean even then like you can't for what they were getting the gloves for, like you can't touch a pair of gloves. You can't touch one glove here.
No, not of quality.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to buy a glove of quality, whether it's boxing gloves or, you know, your 4-ounce MMA, you're going to spend close to $100. I got some Hayabusas that were $100. My shin guards were like 135.
Yeah, I love Hayabusa. They're good. I like their boxing gloves. Have you seen they have like the Captain America ones.
Yeah, those are like the T1s or something. I have the T3s with the soft brow wipe on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See the genuine leather ones too. They have. I think they're like the $150 version. Those. I had a friend that had those, and those actually felt really nice.
I bet for $150 they better feel real nice.
See, I'm a Reyes guy.
Oh yeah.
Reyes, I think is the best gloves, but you're gonna spend $200. I got extremely lucky though, because Butterbean was sponsored by him at one point, and so when he was here last time, he's like, hey, like, if you need Reyes, if you want a pair of Reyes gloves, you know,
Give you his code.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't. I wish he gave me a code, but I don't think he's sponsored by him now anymore. But they gave him like a bunch of gloves for free, so he kind of helped me out, gave me a decent little deal on a pair, and like I was able to like actually use them, and that's the ones he was like. That's I think that was the thing that kind of like when at first I was like, oh, I don't care, and then I looked up like, oh, these are $200 pair of gloves, and then like also those were the gloves he was signing. And he was selling these signed gloves for like 30 or maybe $50. It's like one glove for $50 signed. It's like, well, shit, I should just go buy 2 of them signed for $100.
Yeah.
You can't touch them for that. And have you tried on Reyes gloves?
I have not, but I've seen them.
Bro, if you see someone with them, you should ask them to let you try them on. I'm telling you, you will not want to use another pair of gloves. Because they're just like, the way they're tight, compact. Like, I feel like the first time I put them on, I was like, I feel like I could just spar all night long. And maybe that's because I spent $200 on them.
Probably.
Yeah. But now it sucks. I go through gloves so quick. How often do you got to buy new gloves?
I bought 2 pairs since last September, and my RDXs aren't even wore out. I mean, I'm not a real big bag guy. I should be, but, because you learn your range and all that on a bag, but if we're not drilling or sparring.
Yeah, well, you guys don't have, like, a ton of bags there, though, do you?
I think there's 2 on the back wall, but that's usually reserved for cutting weight or if you want to go in there and fuck around before class.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, see, that's where, like, ours, like, obviously it's boxing, I guess, strictly, so, I'm doing bag work all the time, which it's cool, but the only thing I don't like about bag work as much is because, like, I'm always fucking my hands up.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, it's always, my right hand's always hurting, and I always tell myself, too, it's like, I'm not going to punch that hard today, and then you go in there, next thing you know, you're just welling on the bag, and then afterwards your wrist is hurt, and then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but hopefully, like I told you off camera, hopefully one day I can just afford stem cells. And we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
You got an extra $100,000.
Yeah, well, I guess I say that, but I probably would end up just spending that money on buy a bunch of land and hoard it full of shit.
Yeah.
If I get rich, I've always said I'm gonna be like a white trash rich person. We're just gonna have a bunch of shit. But yeah, so we've talked about your website and stuff. You got a couple fighters, sponsored. That's super cool. How many fighters do you have that you've sponsored over the years?
I've just started sponsoring, so Caleb will be my first. It has been my first one. I think Kellen has a fight coming up September 23rd in Moberly. Benny will be fighting for a title. I haven't talked to them guys for a while since I haven't been in the gym. I've been out here getting fat, doing whatever I want, but I'll be getting a hold of them to try to sponsor them as well.
And Benny Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, the legal amigo.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like he was. I feel like he was on that last boxing card I was at because he's at boxes too, doesn't he?
No, Brian Leal was from Warriors, and he's a boxer now. He was on Golden Glove. He was in Golden Gloves this last year.
Okay, then that might be who I'm thinking of. Man, I'm surprised. And he fights for He fights for Warriors.
Brian,
Yeah.
he was training at Warriors because I think he wanted to kickbox, but he told Tyler, he said, I really want to box. Tyler said, go try it out. And I'll support you. I'm not going to be mad at you for leaving if you like it more. It turns out Brian liked it more, so that's what he stuck with. And that's a good coach, man.
Yeah, that's I've had that talk with my coach before too. Just like, because I want to be able to like go and my goal is like I want to fly to like New York, and I want to go train with like some like top level coaches for like even if it's just like a week or two just to say I did it, and just kind of like even like around here, I want to be able to go like if I want to go to the Warriors Academy and do something for spar with a couple guys. I want to be able to just go up and do that, and he's been open to that, so like I appreciate that, and that was the one thing when I first started going there. Like I told him, I was like he was cool with me cross training places, so because I think that's a big part of it, especially if you want to go pro. You got to be you can't be sparring the same guys all the time because they start
Absolutely
to
not.
pick up everything you do, and then like I think it becomes unbeneficial because you start. I get in my own head whenever I start not landing shots against guys. You're like I should be landing this.
Yeah.
So, but
That's a good thing with kickboxing. You always have that much more to use. You're not landing with your hands, so you can always sneak a leg in there.
see, my hips are bad. That's where like I don't do the kickboxing. Like, but now that I've lost weight, like I'm going to the chiropractor and trying to get like all that shit taken care of and try to see if we can manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I might get into it, but like I can't touch my heel to my butt. So like that's why I didn't like the jiu-jitsu when I was doing it. It's because I just couldn't ever like they're like you gotta sit on your heels, and it's like I am trying.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I didn't really, mess with it a whole lot. But so you got Caleb. That's for one for me being someone that's fighting. Like I appreciate like seeing you sponsor those guys and stuff, and I think that's what'll help. Even hopefully take your brand off is just because people pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And, it's. I know how much work goes into it. You know how much work goes into it, and same with your business. It's just cool. Hopefully, everyone can just grow at the same time and just keep going up.
Yeah, man. If I had a bunch of money, I'd sponsor all of them for sure. Cause I wouldn't want to be like, hey, I'll sponsor you. Put my logo on your shit, and not give them nothing. A lot of them don't expect nothing anyway out of it. They like the sport, but it's always good to give them something for it.
Yeah, that's where like I'm big too. Sam Coronado.
I do. He's a great guy.
See, I've never actually met him, but he's on. I added him on. I saw he was fighting. I think I added him because of Caleb or something.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying like one of his shirts. So like that's one thing I do. Like if I see guys post shirts, like I'll try to buy them just because for one guy, that's one thing a lot of people don't do. They do not make merch. Where like me, before I was even had a fight, that was the first thing I was like, we're gonna make shirts.
Yeah.
So like I got shirts, but I've also, I've had so many shirts over the years. Like we did rap shirts. I did a comedy shirt, freaking the boxing shirt, and this was the first time people actually supported it though. So it's cool to see people actually start to believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I think that was like what was so hard with like rap. Because I booked a lot of shows back in the day that were like, he knows like we did like Says Crew and there was a lot of cool stuff, but you just it wasn't the same. People didn't really support it
Yeah.
like they, and like now you see that it's a whole different feeling.
Yeah, usually if you can, it all starts with your circle of real close friends, and it kind of grows from there. I mean, everybody's got their own little following, whether they be a pro athlete or not an athlete at all. They kind of got people that really love them and would love to support them. So it kind of trickles down from there, and it gets bigger and bigger the more good people you surround yourself with. You don't want to surround yourself with a bunch of douchebags because everybody's like, there's a dude, they're a douchebag, and they support that dude. He's got to be a douchebag too.
Yeah.
So you gotta really keep an eye on who you let in your life. Finding that out slowly, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about like your I guess your life coming up and stuff. Because you said you were always kind of like angry and violent for a while. Did you ever actually have to go to jail and stuff?
I've been to jail several times. I used to go to jail all the time as like a teenager. Minor possession by consumption. I never really got caught for fighting back then. I didn't really get caught for fighting, get cops called on me until my late 20s. And then it was just back to back to back to back. I mean, everybody was calling them. So, yeah, my last time in jail for fighting, I kind of took a long look at myself and, like, do you want to spend all your time here? Because that's what's going to happen. The judge warned me. He said, you're done with amateur jail. You get caught again, you're going big boy jail. So,
What's the longest you had to stay in jail?
not very long. I was in jail for fighting up in North Dakota when I was working up there for 2 weeks. And it was like a prison. It wasn't really like a jail. It's huge. Dickinson County, North Dakota. So I never really spent a whole bunch of time, just numerous times, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's I forgot what they call that. Something. I had to go on a prison tour of the Jeff City thing because I got caught up for like weed stuff, and I had a felony like pending for a while, and it was all like bullshit. But the most I've ever stayed in a jail cell was 24 hours, and that was because my ex, uh, she couldn't stop smoking when I had to quit, and like so she would always like still smoke around me, and she had like weed on her, and we got pulled over, and literally had nothing to do with me, but because I was with her, they're like, they could have like actually like took me out of the program and stuff, which is so dumb, but I got lucky because once they like threatened jail time, I'm like, nope. The first time I was in there for 8 hours, and uh, it was like one of the dudes. Actually, this is cool. You can look him up. His name is Randall Holmes. He was the Galloping Goose. He was the president of the Galloping Goose bike club,
Yeah.
which is a 1% bike club here in Kansas City. And he got caught up for like, dude, they cut off like a dude's like toes or some shit, and like he literally like told me, well, for one, they like went into this room and I snorted muscle relaxers with them. And so they're already like, this guy's not gonna do good in jail, and then but they're like, basically told me he's like you're not a criminal, like you don't need to be here, so it's like, don't come back
Yeah.
here, and so that's crazy. And then when you look up, you're like, I don't think I could cut someone's toes off. What was the longest that you were in jail there in North Carolina?
No, it was 2 days, 2 different days, but like 12 hours was the first one, and then like I think the second one was like all day because it was a Sunday.
And that story was crazy. You want to tell them about that?
I just like I say I got drugged because I've never had that happen, and it was out of state at a bar, and then I just woke up in a jail cell and had 2 felonies and 7 misdemeanors. Got bailed out, and then freaking the next day the cops called me and they were like looking for me, and then they charged me with more shit from the same night.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I already freaking bailed out and everything, and then it was a Sunday, so I had to stay overnight.
Yeah, that one was
You
crazy.
just had me.
Yeah.
Well, that was like that whole thing. But see, that's the thing that's like scary about like bars and stuff too. And this is what's shitty about the system though, because that happened, and he's telling us on the phone that he thinks he might have been drugged, and we tried calling the cops or whatever, and be like, well, we think he might have been. I mean, it's a he say she say thing when it comes down to that.
Yeah.
But it's like they didn't even want to check. You know, like they didn't even want to like try to like look into it. Like no, they're like whatever. And it's
Them
like
do their jobs? No, man.
Yeah.
well, and they were like the fucked up thing with him is I think a lot of things which we don't know because you don't know what the hell happened that night, but they were like trying to say he like snuck into a fire station and
Well,
like
no, it was just outside. There was a fire truck outside. Apparently, I slashed the tires on a fire truck. I'm pretty sure those tires are thick. I don't carry a knife on me ever, and like, so I was like, you should have footage of that. And like, I never got to see footage of anything. And
so we
then
think some shit just happened. And,
I
like, they,
apparently
like,
kicked
tried to-
open someone's door, so thank God I didn't get shot.
So,
That's like,
so they probably just, you probably did one thing, and then they were like, this guy's not going to remember shit tomorrow.
yeah. So
Hey,
then,
all this shit, let's just pilot it on him.
well, plus it was on an island in North Carolina, so it's like it's a vacation spot. So it's like it could have been any drunk people that did all this stuff too. And then
Yeah.
they're like, "Well, we have this drunk guy." Well, that's what they tried to charge me as is I
Yeah.
was drunk and doing it.
No, he really did kick in the people's door though.
Yeah.
He like. It was funny thing is like, don't you wish you could meet them and just like because you didn't even hear the whole story about how that happened, did you? Like, all he knows is he kicked in someone's door
And
and,
then I
his
yelled,
hands were all
and then I
fucked
yelled,
up.
"Fuck you" at them and like ran away. I guess. It's like I don't.
See, that's the scary
That's-
thing. Like you said though, you could have easily got killed that night,
Yeah.
and
Or
really
you-
wouldn't have been their fault. I mean, it would have.
Or you could have ended up in some old guy's basement. You could still be there right
Yeah.
now.
And no one would have, because I lost my phone. I lost my phone and everything, so no one would have known where I was.
Oh, man.
The messed up part of that actually is because I remember that night so clear because me and my girlfriend were supposed to go on a date to when they speaking of that, Ameristar Casino, fuck you. They need to bring the buffet back. Did you ever go to the Ameristar Casino buffet?
I haven't, but I know lots of people who talk about it.
Well, they took it away, and dude, it was literally because they had the Mexican place, they had like places where you can get hamburgers, they had Chinese.
You can't even afford to eat in there now, dude.
No, dude. Well, that's the thing though. The buffet was like $25, but the thing is, you could get chocolate milk, all you could drink. That's where dude. No wonder I was fat growing up, but I mean, with the whole Ameristar Casino thing, where was I going with that? The whole
You're
you
going
guys-
on a date.
Oh yeah, I was going on a date. So it was that day. We were going on a date there to the buffet, and I had to work that morning, and he like, I couldn't use my phone at work, and like he called me like 20 times, and like one of the messages he's like crying on because he's in a jail. He doesn't even know why he's in jail. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I'm in jail. I don't know why. And then I get out, and then like you can't call the jail back. Like I can't get a hold of him. So now I'm freaking out, and then here like I'm supposed to go on this date. And then it was just like crazy because that night before I'd get off at 11 or 12, and then I went and if I worked overtime on Saturdays, I go sleep in my car at my girlfriend's parents' house because I had to literally be up at like 5 in the morning, so I'd like literally only get a couple hours of sleep. And I remember that night I literally was leaving. I just left McDonald's and I got a call from him, and he was like, you could tell he was like walking and kind of breathing heavy, and he just like tried talking to me, and then. Yeah, next day he's arrested. So it was like weird because we had a weird conversation. But at the time you didn't think about anything about it. So it was crazy. I guess it didn't really go anywhere with that. But is there anyone you want to shout out or anything you want to promote here?
Yeah, my sponsors, my fight sponsors. Andy with Sugar High Edibles. Canna Steve is my neighbor, and actually he's a Missouri cultivator. We got Albert and Sons Trucking. My cousin Brian with McCollum Construction. I think that's about it.
Awesome. Where can the people find you if they want to buy some merch? What are you on Instagram?
I'm
Facebook?
on Instagram and Facebook. My name's Eric McCollum. Last name's McCollum. Instagram handle is my first and last name and the number 8. But yeah, if they want to buy any merchandise or anything like that, or if you guys want to check out the website, it's killmefightco.com. It should be going here by the time you release this. So
Yeah, and I will. I'll just let me know when you drop it, because in that way I can wait to release this just for that, anyways.
right on.
Do you have any questions that you can think of that you might want to ask him real quick?
I don't know. On the spot.
I know I gotta get better about just writing some questions out, but I just like making this
Yeah.
having a good old time. But definitely follow him. Where can they find you, Dustin?
At the Real Twitch on Instagram.
You can find me. It should be. I don't know my Instagram handle. I don't use it really, but you can find.
That's the, I think it's the Real Dakota Hilton.
I thought it was the Really Dakota Hilton, but I think it changed it to Hylton's Athletics. Like.
Just look up Dakota Hilton.
Just look up Dakota Hilton, and you can go. Yeah, look up the Hilton's Highlights podcast on YouTube, which you're probably already
Get you a
possibly
nice
on
koozie.
YouTube or Spotify. And speaking of that, like you were saying, we got these fantastic koozies. You can buy them for $5 or 2 for $8, or depending on where you're at, hell, I might just give you one. We're trying to promote this, so I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
It's been a great convo. Sorry I talk about myself a lot.
It's okay.
But thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.